Welcome to the Dysfunction Junkies podcast. We may not have seen it all, but we've seen enough. And now, here are your hosts, Chrissy and Kerry.
Hello, junkies. I'm Kerry.
And I'm Chrissy.
How's everyone doing today, Chrissy? How are you guys doing?
I hope everybody's doing great. I don't know, though, but hopefully.
Well, today's subject is something that Chrissy and I are very different about.
Yes.
I have lots. She has none.
None. I have not participated.
You did a little with the piercing.
Yes. I have lots of the one thing. She has none of the other. And I have lots of the other. And you have one set.
One set, yeah.
What are we talking about?
Tattoos and piercings.
So in our little dysfunction junkie brains here, you know, we always think about everything and how, is it dysfunctional? Is it not? Is this a byproduct of the dysfunctions that we, you know, grew up with that made us this way? So this one, Chrissy thought would be a good one. And being that I love my tattoos and want more. And I actually find the older I get, the more I want. And I'm not quite sure what Farm Boy Jim thinks about it. I think sometimes, you know, he just sees dollar signs like, how much money is this costing? But
it is, I never gotten one or even inquired about one. I didn't realize, but it's almost like a designer bag. Because there's an investment in having this done.
Yes.
And I do appreciate the artistry and the craft of skin art.
Yeah. And that saying, you get what you pay for, you get what you pay for. So if you really want something good, you got to research your artist and hey, they have a job. This is talent that you're paying for. So, and it's on you forever. So you want to look good.
Yeah, just because I choose not to have these doesn't mean that I want to downplay or dismiss the industry of it or the skill and artistry that goes into it.
Right.
And the people who choose to have skin art applied, their research that they do put in it, and they are very personal choices they make in what they choose to have put on. And they do, if you ask, I'm sure anyone who you see who has, I'm trying to say it correctly. Of course, tattoos is what we always would say, but I do believe skin art is what we're looking at trying to talk about. But if you mention that to someone who has this, you know, they have usually a very interesting story that explains why the choice was made, and why they feel so strongly about what they're trying to tell you about themselves. So
I got my first tattoo when I was 29. You know, at that point, it was all hip and cool for girls to get them in their lower back, aka tramp stamp area. But of course, the tramp stamp name came afterwards. But you know, it took me a long time to figure out. I knew what I kind of wanted, and I knew what I wanted to represent. But then I didn't get my next one until just a few years ago. Or well, let's see. I guess just over 2 years ago. Yeah. So
you had your first one was at 29,
and then the other 5 came within the last 2 years.
Wow. What was the just life happening that you just didn't feel strongly about?
I knew what I had in my mind, things that I wanted, but I really hadn't committed to it yet. And then also money. It is a money thing. When I probably would have done it maybe about 10 or 12 years ago, but that was a time where, you know, maybe the money would have been better spent on, you know, electricity and water and food.
Well, yeah, because again, payment. Life happens, right?
So,
I get you.
Past, 2 years, I've gotten the other 5, but they were things that I would, kind of thinking about or wanting and stuff. And I'm glad I've waited and was patient with them. And then I found this fabulous artist. I'm going to give a shout out to Kingdom Tattoos in Columbiana, Ohio. So that's where I've gotten my most recent ones. And so, yeah.
Well, it's good to have someone who you can trust and they know you.
Yes.
And you sort of develop a relationship.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
it's important, I believe.
Yeah.
Again, I'm only saying this as I don't even know, third-hand person or whatever, not a participant, because I'm sure just with anything, because like I said, my understanding of this is they are very personal.
Yes.
They do tell a story about the person who wears them, kind of want the person who's applying them for you to sort of know what you're
absolutely
feeling.
In addition to giving a shout out to the shop that this tattoo artist, I do want to say his name. So it's Alex, and he goes by Ramen Kid Tattoos on Instagram. So you can check out some of his work. But no, he has done some amazing things of putting my vision to work and exactly what I wanted. So I have to give a shout out to Alex for that because he's amazing. So
go Alex.
Yeah, go Alex. And we talked a lot about the podcast whenever he was, because it was like, I don't know, my last one was like 3.5, 4 hours tattoo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
it's a time commitment as well as everything else commitment.
Yes.
Financial and your time.
Yes.
And
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Just to say, we, friends from high school.
Yeah.
And then friends sort of always friends.
Yes.
But we've been separated and come back together as people do. And then, so we were friends in our 20s and we've always tried to keep in touch. When I found out that you had done this, I have to say, I really, I guess,
shocked?
well, a little bit, because you are very strong in your faith.
Yes.
And, you were generally making way better decisions than I was when we were still in our teen years.
So are you saying tattoos are bad?
That's what I was laughing about. No, but I know what you're meaning.
It is a decision to consider that I would have just thought somebody... Well, I'm not going to come off good at all. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. It's probably somebody like me who is probably, numbing themselves a little bit more than they should have, or hanging around with people I shouldn't have hung around with. Not that people.
The wild child.
Oh, a bit of a wild child wanting to do stuff that would create a shock factor, or say, "Hey, look at me. I want attention."
Right.
And you were sort of always quiet and reserved and just like,
did everything right, followed the rules.
You followed the rules. You were not an attention seek. You didn't need to do that.
Right.
You relied on your intelligence, your education, and, your ability to demand attention in that way.
I get you. I get what you're trying to articulate. I 100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna help.
Okay.
Go ahead, help, Nick.
Basically, just you would have thought that you would have been more like the type to get a tattoo.
Stereotypically,
than Kerry would have.
Well, if you were gonna say, out of these two people, knowing what you know about them, maybe even in this time frame.
Yes.
Like, I'm not even saying over this entire span of our 53 years.
Just take
if you looked at our high school yearbook and you had to pick tattoo or no tattoo, I 100% people would have put me in the no tattoo area, and you probably would have been in the tattoo area. I get that.
Yeah, I guess.
That's what you needed to say.
I guess.
Before you keep digging yourself.
Whatever. I always put a flippin' stamp on this whole thing. Carrie, good. Chrissy, bad.
But if you remember, we dabbled just a little bit about this when we were talking about the ear piercing.
Well, that shocked me because I had no idea. And I guess I probably saw that you had an earring up in that cartilage part of your ear.
Or 2 earrings on the lobe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
But, right.
I didn't.
But that was, so that was the little rebel, I guess you can say, in me.
Well, the fact that you did it yourself.
Right.
And I don't know that you ever even told me that. I don't think you did. I would have remembered that.
Because you were quite traumatized when you found that out.
Well, yeah, because I can't imagine.
I might not have. I might have. I could see me not saying how I did it because I didn't talk about things.
Well, no, you didn't.
No,
and I just thought it was normal because that's what I do. She's got several earrings in her ear. Normal. not for me, but for her.
In the time and the age we were at, that was common for girls to start getting double piercings.
Oh,
and
sure.
things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I 100%. I get what you're trying to say.
I don't think that I could even put, if I wanted, because I absolutely do not have the guts to put it in the cartilage.
Yeah.
But on your lobe, because of when I got my ears pierced.
For your first Holy Communion.
For my, what was that all about?
Nothing says I love Jesus more than 2 holes in your ear.
Right. I am committed to this.
That wasn't like a stigmata thing. All right, then I'm going to go to hell for saying that. But...
Oh my God, you're going to make me laugh so hard I might choke.
But they like basically dead centered them flipping when they shotgun me with that gun.
See. So,
you know? And I think that if you're interested in having multiple holes to wear multiple earrings, like in your lobe, I think they strategically probably place the placement better.
Yeah.
But mine is dead center.
Yeah.
I'm probably talking about, and I think I just remember sometimes people being a little horrified and probably traumatized by people who maybe had some piercings gone wrong where it was not centered or was off, and then like it cut the lobe.
Oh, yeah. I will say my third one because I have 2 in the lobe, and then 1 year I have 3 in the lobe. And that third one, we're starting to run out of real estate there. So it does get kind of close to the edge, but it never broke through, like it never cut it. But it is close to the edge because, if you would have known you wanted to do this from the beginning, you would have started at a different spot then. Yeah.
And I'm guessing that people who do help people with getting piercings, they're way more involved to understand what you'll want.
Yeah.
Back when I did it, which would have been 1980
at the piercing pagoda
at
the mall.
It was at the mall, at the piercing pagoda.
Right.
You know, they were just there to blow that damn gun at you and smack a earring in there and give you your little whatever the hell the solution was that they sent you off with, that you had to get your Q-tip and run it around with that to make sure nothing got infected.
And then you went and got your Orange Julius on the way home, make you feel better.
And a hot Sam.
Hot Sam. Oh, I haven't heard that word hot Sam in a while. Now it's Annie Ann's.
Before Annie Ann's,
you're right. It was Hot Sam. Oh, that's right. Oh.
Yeah, the good old pretzel place. Yep. So, and the other thing that always horrified me with people who would wear really heavy earrings, which they did when we were, it was sort of the big gaudy earrings were the thing.
Yeah, and your lobe just drug down.
And then it's just like, oh my God, your ear's going to be all messed up. Now those people who wear, what are they called?
Gauging.
Wow.
Yeah.
That just, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I'm just sorry. It's me. Why did you put that large hole in your ear?
I will have to say, as much as I'm into piercings and tattoos and stuff like that, the gauging, I do personally struggle with that one. I don't mind when they're little, but when they get to be where you can put the Diet Coke can through the earlobe, that's when I'm like, maybe you went a step too far. But hey, you do you. It may not be what I want to do, but if they want to do, but that one is a little harder for me to wrap my brain around.
It makes you look like not real. The only thing is this is such a weird connection or comparison, but leave it up to me to do it.
Yeah.
When I see something like that and I can see through your ear to the wall behind you and read everything going on behind you, I think of that movie Death Becomes Her with Goldie Hawn and Meryl Streep.
Oh, good reference. Yeah.
And I'm missing it.
I believe Meryl Streep blows a hole right through Goldie Hawn's abdomen. And you can see the person because they're not living anymore.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
And she's like, I've got a hole in my stomach. And it's like, I always see that and I think about, you've got a hole in your ear. And it's very large.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah. I have the nose piercing thing. Here's my hang up on the nose piercing thing. I can't stand if you like, I would just be constantly thinking I had a booger up there. And I would be constantly I think it would, I don't know. Like I think it's cute when people have the stud in their nose, but yes. To personally have one, I think I'd be constantly picking at it because I would think that there was like, oh, do I have I'd be like constantly, I think I'd be obsessed with thinking like, do I have a booger hanging out of my nose? Right. So yeah, I don't think I could do that one.
Why did the stick thing,
the stud?
Like a little, just
it's just a little stud.
Well, no, nothing that went through your nose, but just a little sticker.
Oh, like a little,
looked like a little rhinestone.
Yeah, no, see, that would be cute.
I mean, can you just accomplish that? I mean, people stick like little rhinestones all over their face for.
Well, now people have those stickers when they have pimples. And they walk around with little stars on their head and on their face.
Is that to cover up pimples? I thought they were just being decorative.
No, it's a pimple treatment thing. So like if they're having a pimple, it's got like some kind of like pimple alcohol thing or whatever.
What happened to Seabreeze and
it's got Seabreeze on
Stridex.
The sticker. So that way if it looks bad then
Noxema.
People they're not looking at the pimple, they're just looking at the cute star.
You're bringing attention.
It'll really be like the commercials used to say, you've got the North Star on your nose.
Is that for clear? What was that?
Pimple cream or something?
Stridex.
Yeah. I remember that now you say that. But you know what? Again, if it was just like a sticker or a little stick on, it would be off within 5 minutes because I don't like wearing makeup. I don't like creams and stuff. I would be itching at my face, so it would be off. So it would be no point in me even.
Well, I think I brought this up before about the nose thing. I have a teenage daughter who is interested.
Yeah.
And I had to say no to this, and I have no ability to stop her once she is able to make those type of decisions. But just physically, I look at the nose as your filtration system. And when you tamper with that, it's like taking your furnace and punching a hole in it.
In the filter.
And then expecting it to work to its full capacity. I mean, come on. It's not gonna. It's like sticking a hole in your carburetor. Well, if there were carburetors on cars, I don't think there are anymore. I'm really dating myself. You wouldn't go out and like stab your muffler or something and think, it's cool to sound that way. And so I really just don't get the nose thing. Or really anywhere else to pierce yourself is terrifying to me. People find very creative places to do that.
Yes, we do.
Oh my God. Don't make me crazy. No. Oh God. No, we're not going there. Okay. It's not on my notes. I'm not talking about it.
Okay.
Unless you want to.
No, I'm just saying, so.
Do I need to leave the room?
I don't know. Okay. Maybe we should talk about tattoos again.
Tattoos.
Skin art.
So Chrissy brought up a good point in her show notes about like why do we like this feel? Why would we put ourselves through this pain or something? So I'm trying to find it on this about forces them to feel. And I really think there is something true about that.
Well, again, I don't want to generalize for everybody, but I wonder sometimes with some people who I've, in my life have come across with getting skin art done. I wonder if, because I think that they're trying to remember maybe things they've accomplished and they represent that by
the art
choosing
itself,
something, whether it's sobriety or overcoming maybe abuse or getting yourself out of a situation you knew was not good for you, and you're celebrating your ability to recognize that and choose a better path for yourself. And just say enough is enough. I'm not going to do this because it's a negative experience. But I feel like people I've known, and not everybody, that really seems to go into this and they look forward to the next one. And I know you say you think about it.
I do. In fact, I was just recently at a corn roast fundraiser, and one of the raffle basket prizes was tattoo, money off a tattoo. Oh my God. I had so many tickets in that thing. I was like, yes. I didn't win. But I got so super excited about that. I was like, oh my gosh, I can get it. And my husband's like, oh my God. He's like, really? Wait, you want another one? And I'm like, especially if I get $100 off of it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I just feel like there's a point where, because I think somebody maybe because I asked. I think I just asked many questions, one of which was, but it's obviously uncomfortable and there's pain involved because of how they're applying the art to your skin, that why would you do it again and again and again? And it almost seems like some of the answers I've gotten have been that it's almost like a physical type therapeutic session.
Yes, 100%.
Maybe it helps redirect your thoughts or your brain, or maybe it helps you, it's somehow relaxing.
Yeah, it in fact, in my show notes, I put that, especially this last tattoo that was so big and took so much time. And it was most of my tattoos are black and white, but this one actually is color. So that was a little bit of an experience I hadn't experienced before. But it is, I said at the time, I'm like, I know this sounds totally dysfunctional. I said, but it is oddly soothing. And I thought about it a lot as I was laying there, because it was oddly soothing. And for the most part, I mean, I can't even say it hurt. It really didn't hurt. There was a couple times it was uncomfortable, but I can't use the word hurt. And so when you made that comment about, does it make them feel, it really made me think that for me, that could be very true, because one, I do find it very therapeutic. One, because of what I'm getting done, and everything has meaning. You know, like we talked about a few episodes, I'm happy that I have on my wrist because of my mom. So that has meaning to it. Of course, that was very small. It was done in like 10 minutes, you know, so the location didn't really hurt or feel uncomfortable. I think that for some of my other ones, it did cause some discomfort, but it was oddly soothing, but it also made me feel. It did make me feel, because I'm so used to, especially being a child of trauma and a child of abuse, that you learn how to, when you grow up like that, you learn how to compartmentalize your feelings so that you don't feel, to get through the trauma and the abuse or whatever it is you're going through. Going through that, getting that tattoo kind of was like you are feeling. And sometimes feelings can be hard to feel, but in that moment you are feeling. So I think there was some truth to that. And I never really gave that much thought until I got my last tattoo, and I was laying there thinking like, this is oddly soothing. This actually feels good. And why does this shouldn't feel good? Like they're putting a million little needle things into your skin. This should not feel good, but it did. And then when I read your notes, I was like, yeah, I think there's something to that. So it's completely dysfunctional. I get that. And maybe that's not anybody else's feeling, but it was mine. So,
well, I wonder if it's because you couldn't control the pain you experienced being a child of abuse.
Yes.
This is almost like your ability to control pain.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I know. It's so dysfunctional. I completely get it. Yeah. So one of my tattoos that I have, it's the tiniest little tattoo, and like the general people wouldn't even know I have it. It's a tiny little semicolon that's inside my pinky, and it's pink in color just because I didn't want it to be something big. But that's symbolic to me, because a lot of people know a semicolon tattoo can mean you've gotten through something. A lot of people, it can symbolize that, you know, maybe you were suicidal or have mental illness. You know, for me, it's my sign of the abuse that I've overcome. Oh. A semicolon. Yeah.
I have never heard this.
Yeah. It has to do with like a this is where you are the literature major. You would probably better be able to better to be able to describe what a semicolon.
I'm the queen of run-on sentences. Come on now.
With lots of semicolons and commas.
Improper punctuation. Yeah, I gotcha.
Google it, Nick. What a semicolon, because it has to do with a semicolon in a sentence is a break or a disruption, or a transition in a sentence.
So the semicolon tattoo symbolizes hope, resilience, and solidarity for those who had experienced mental health challenges, particularly depression, anxiety, self-harm, and as you said, suicidal.
Yes. But where the semicolon comes from is when you relate to what a semicolon does in a sentence, it's a transition in a sentence. So that's why it's representative of that. You know, I have that one. And then I have my tattoo. My first tattoo is a wolf, a whale, and an eagle all together, because that symbolizes all my work with all the animals that I've worked with. You know, I've worked with lions. I've, worked at a major aquarium theme park. So there was marine mammals in there. Mm-hmm. I've worked with domestic animals. So that kind of just represents represented me and my connection with animals. And then I got my semicolon tattoo, and then I have Jim's signature, which I always said I would never get. I'd never get a husband or a boyfriend or a man's name tattooed on me. But then I met Jim. And it was totally different, because we have a very different relationship than any of my other relationships. And he is part of me. So I got that tattoo.
So I think the reason, I'm guessing, the semicolon as a punctuation mark is connecting two closely related independent clauses.
Yes.
So the semicolon is getting you, transitioning you from...
Yes.
It's all about your life.
Yes.
But this is my guess.
No, you're exactly, this is what it means.
The semicolon is like that little bit of a break. You're connecting the before
and the after,
and you're moving on.
Yes, that is exactly what yes. So you found it.
Okay.
So
let me just let you know.
Okay, what?
It's one thing for me to admire your skin art and try to understand what you were thinking and why you maybe wanted to get it and why this means something to you.
Yeah.
Now I've got to sit here and go back to remembering what grammatical punctuation means.
You do.
Good Lord. Wow.
Yeah. But see, it all means something. And I have my tattoo, the horse tattoo that
means so much. The horse. Tell me about
the horse tattoo is a compilation of all of my horses. So there's one horse, but it has parts of all the horses that I've had in there. So
and it is beautiful.
It is.
And the one you recently got.
Yes. So
the one with your wrist is wonderful.
Yeah,
because I understand the deep meaning of that for you.
And then my last tattoo is my biggest one, and that one has the 3 barn swallows, which we know is Chrissy's favorite word, and a butterfly. And the butterfly is pink and yellow because that signifies my sister that helped me take care of my mom. Her favorite color is yellow, mine is pink, and butterfly for my mom. And then the 3 barn swallows are my son and my 2 grandchildren. So
that's wonderful.
So
here, maybe with the pain, the relating of pain.
Pain, yeah.
Maybe this will count for me. Let me think. So what I enjoy doing to experience some discomfort that I inflict on myself is
a roller coaster.
Eating something really hot.
Oh, okay, yes.
That totally destroys your mouth, your sinuses.
Yes.
And it stays with you.
Yeah.
Because if it's really hot enough, if you were that serious about burning your face off initially, and then burning your stomach out, I mean, it stays with you for a while. And it
goes all the way.
It goes all the way
in and out
to that discomfort that you maybe experience 12 hours or so later. And on top of that, experiencing that pain while you're watching a really ridiculous thing on TV.
See, it's relatable.
That's the kind of pain I enjoy.
Yours just doesn't leave
really
a lasting
horribly
impression.
Hot food.
So you need a Carolina Reaper and a Terrible B movie at the same time.
Yeah, I would be.
Now, see, I like I like hot food that's flavorful, but I don't want to feel that. I don't want to be able to not taste things anymore. So I think that's why the kind of hot, spicy food that I like is like wasabi, where it burns and you're like, oh my gosh. But then it goes away in like seconds.
That's a fun one because you don't know how long it's going to last. And it seems like it lasts longer than it does.
And you accidentally breathe in and it goes up into your sinuses.
The horseradish pain or wasabi, same type of thing. That's wonderful.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, it's a good
But I
rush.
like it because it doesn't stick with you and it doesn't ruin the flavor.
It feels
does.
Like
it's oddly.
It's forever.
But see, doesn't it feel oddly good?
Well, sure.
See, that's the same thing as a
food-related pain. I'm all for food-related pain, sure, But, again, I don't want to, quote Pauly Shore here, but if you've seen the movie Son-in-Law and his buddy's going to get a tattoo, he tries to remind her, it's permanent.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. Yes, do I make decisions that are going to affect the rest of my life? Yeah, but I feel like I have no other choice. But this would give me an opportunity to make a choice that I would have to think about and contemplate.
Yeah.
And to me, I need to step away from that and say, I'm not going to do that because I'm making a permanent choice. I guess I like making my choices on the fly. I have no other choice but to make a choice here. But this to me means you have to think it out.
Yeah.
You have to be committed to something. Yeah. And it's not going to be easy to reverse that decision.
This is true.
You pick it and flee from Red Hot Chili Peppers. We'll stick it. That's all. You pick it, I stick it.
Yeah. That was his line from the movie, right?
Yes.
Well, I think what I love most is the going back to meme therapy and stuff. I love the meme that says, I'm an adult and I need stickers too. That's why I have tattoos.
Well, and I believe that you are an adult, and if that's
this
you
my
have
stickers.
the right to
This is my stickers. I
Absolutely.
like them. What was always funny though is, my mom, again, I only had the one tattoo, but she hardly ever saw it because it was, at the base of my spine. So she hardly ever saw that one. So I think she kind of forgot a lot of times I had it. Towards the end here, she saw like my foot tattoo with Jim's name and the horse tattoo that's on my thigh. So, and she would... I think some of it was her dementia or declining cognitive functions, but I think some of it was her way of poking Josh. She'd be like, "Who wrote on your foot? Who wrote on your foot? Who wrote on your leg?" And so when she would see it, she would always say that. So now it's always a joke, if I'm walking through the living room and got shorts on, Jim would like, "Hey, somebody wrote on your leg." "Hey, somebody wrote on your foot." And it's our way of, kind of remembering mom, and making joke out of it.
Right.
So, but I think that was also her way of being not happy. And so she was calling out that she wasn't happy about it. But, like, what is that on your foot? Who wrote on your foot?
Right. Because to me, that's what that looks like.
Someone wrote it. Yeah.
No,
So
I can see that. Absolutely.
Well, I want to see everyone's tattoo pictures. So on our Facebook page, please post your tattoos.
Yes, I also would love to see these.
And you can share your tattoos and piercings, but please make sure they're appropriate to post. So
yes.
If you have some tattoos or piercing that are maybe not in a publicly seen part of your body, don't send those.
Probably. Not that we wouldn't equally be fascinated looking at them, but we will not post them.
We won't. Yeah. So Facebook might shut us down if you post some of those.
Right.
But I do want to. And if you have a story behind why you got, I would love to hear your stories because I love hearing that. I love going up to people with tattoos and saying, "Oh my God, I love your tattoo. Tell me about it."
Yeah.
I just think it's really cool. So
I do agree. I do appreciate the stories and the meaning that these hold for the people who get them. So.
Yeah. Oh, and one last thing real quick. So when we were talking about like how I was saying it's oddly soothing, I do remember like this last tattoo, for the most part, I was laying there very still because like I said, it was oddly soothing. Every once in a while, he would hit a spot that would cause a reaction. Like I would flinch or whatever. And it was totally uncontrolled. Like I couldn't stop it from happening. It was just, it happened. And I was like, "Oh gosh, I'm really sorry, that I flinched." And he'd be like, "No, it's okay. At least that now I know you're really human and that you're normal." Because he did say, he goes, "It's the people that lay there still and don't move at all that you think, okay, that's creepy." So
probably. I bet you the people who apply the skin art probably have some great stories.
I know. We should get Alex to come on the show and talk.
I'm up for it. Totally.
So, alrighty. Well, please check out our Facebook page and share your stories. Don't forget to check out our new website, dysfunctionjunkiespodcast.org. And it's not too late to still raise funds for Canine Companions and our Junkies Care. We're doing that all through the month of September. I know we didn't touch on it today, but we'll probably touch on it in maybe next week's episode about our day at Canine Companions. So we'll share that in the future. So be sure to tune in.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.